around 10:40. I run from here. Okay, I was there towards the end yesterday talking about the different sources of finance into business there. I think I spoke about crowdsourcing. When I was trying to recall who was the boy who passed away a few months back, it was Naveen, who was a super senior. Who was, resorted to ending his life because he got into drinks. He wanted to become rich in short span. And one of other reasons he should have gone into it. So the investment in cryptocurrency and things really go well. That's where it is. The future is more about cryptocurrency, you want it or not. The RBI also is going to come out with digital currency. And El Salvador is the first country in the world which has accepted what is called as cryptocurrency. It is Bitcoin official currency for doing business transactions. Not all countries have accepted, and slowly it would go about with making way. Anything that you bring in, that is what you learn in OB, that there would be resistance for change. When they brought in paper currency, people didn't like it because the metal had the value. And when debit cards and credit cards have come, people are not willing to take it. And then when the QR code had come also, there was a lot of resistance. But now you look at it, every street vendor, selling vegetables also is using a QR code, right? So there is resistance, and if something has hastened or quickened the acceptance of a QR code as a mode of exchange was to do with COVID, right? So today, registration, making payments, there are a lot of these wallets that are there. So that's something of a big thing which had happened. So that part of it you can keep probing. There are courses that you can do on that. There's a lot of information that is available on rbi.org about how the banking had gone about becoming. And you have studied a paper on currency and banking, or you call it PFIS. No, in BCom you didn't study anything about insurance and financial services. Some are nodding their head, some are nodding in reverse. The Sri Lankans, if they do it this way, there is no. If they do it this way, then yes. You're doing like the Sri Lankans, you're making in reverse. I don't know what the nodding is for. Okay, it's up to you there. You have studied, but you have forgotten what you have studied probably in degree. Yeah, over a period, some subjects were diluted and gone. Now, I spoke about peer-to-peer lending. Peer is somebody of your age group. So, one corporate lends to another corporate. Let's say Adani goes about lending to Ambani. Okay, or PepsiCo goes about lending it to Coke. Can they really lend? They are competitors, no? But let me tell you, there is a story. It says that they're actually fixing prices by being a duopoly. That's Coke and Pepsi. And someone is trying to break the duopoly is the Ambani Group, where they have bought Campa and they're trying to sell it after it. A small PET bottle of the beverage costs you 20 rupees, but they say we can give it for 10 rupees. You can give it for 10 rupees. So that's something they're making it more affordable. And they want to give competition, which initiated by Coke and Pepsi. Now let me go on. The other one is, I said it could be to do with hybrid mode. There are a few more things that I've listed on the board yesterday. And somebody goes about looking at it. There is one word, I don't know if you have got it. Towards the end, I wrote mezzanine.
Yes.
You get that? Now, that is a mix of both debt and equity kind of financing which comes there. That I listed it yesterday. Leasing, I said, forfeiting, factoring. I used the word operation lease and I said financial lease. Remember?
Yes.
So there are different sources of you get the money there. So we have done one particular unit. When time permits, I'll come back again to it to tell you in detail what are the types of equities, what are the types of preference, what are the types of bonds. Maybe for our exam, it may not be that much relevant, but somewhere down the line, you should go for it. It's for finance that you have. And let me speak about the other thing that's there. Now, this is one question which you regularly get as to what are the sources of finance in business. And the other one that I would look for is, I get my marker. What happened? The voice was very uneasy. So when you look at this word, ಮುಸ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಸಂಗತು ಗುರುತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. There are these two things that you should know as one of the basics of financial management. What will you pursue? You have been doing what is called as financial accounting, and then you had this AICPA definition of accounting being an art and science of recording, classifying, summarizing, and interpreting thereof in terms of money and money spread. You've done the various concepts, you've done the various conventions. The outcome of a trading account would have been either a gross profit or a gross cost. The outcome of a P&L account would have been a net loss or net profit. And if it is loss, it gets deducted from the capital. If it is profit, it gets added up to the capital. That was the link. That is how you studied your basics of accounting. And there was only one place, which was to do with non-profit organizations, where you said you don't use the word profit, but you use the word surplus. And there it is slightly different. You don't do trading account and other things there, but you do receipts and payment, income and expenditure, and you have a balance sheet. And you depend a lot on donations, and you have done some adjustments related to donations. And someone goes about to giving their entire property for running a non-profit organization. You called it an endowment. These are all the words that you have used in your account. Now, the big question is, would you go about with putting your efforts to maximize your profits? Will you go about with putting efforts to maximizing the wealth of the shareholders as well as the various stakeholders? You get that? There's a difference between the word shareholder and stakeholder. Shareholder is somebody who's an owner in the business. Stakeholder is somebody who's dependent on the business, or the decisions of the business influence the stakeholders. It can be a consumer. It cannot be a consumer. It can be a competitor. It can be an employee. There are various types of people who can be influenced by a company. Try to understand the word stakeholder. Now, for a university, we require students. But the thing is, our stakeholders are our corporates. Because when you study and go into the marketplace there, they go about with selecting you. You get that? So our output becomes somebody else's input. I'm not looking at it in a very mechanical language. But to tell you that we are talking about output-based education. Why are we educating you? So that you get a job, so that you get a placement, or you become an entrepreneur yourself. So you should be able to create jobs, or you go over to take somebody's job. It all depends on what you learn and how you apply it. So there is something called as a stakeholder. And there are some people who may not be directly influenced by you, but still that feel the impact. Let us say a company produces products, right? And it is, it is taking decisions which will maximize the profit. If it maximizes the profit, it goes about it giving bigger dividends to the shareholders. It can give a bigger amount of pie in the form of salary to the workers, right? So they are happy. The worker is happy, the consumer is happy, the company is happy. That is what CEO is, what I said. And CEO stands for common father, we will say Chief Executive Officer. But I said this person is responsible for three groups. To the customer, to the employee, and to the owners. The customers want highest quality product at the least cost. Employees want highest payment with the least work. And owners want highest return with the least risk. So if these three are happy, do you mean everything is well? Suppose you violate business laws, the government is losing its revenue. You're not paying your taxes on time, but you're thinking only about the CEO. Okay, then you go about with doing things which damage or cause irreparable damage to the environment, especially to the future generation. You're not providing clean air, global warming is happening, the glaciers at the Arctic and the Antarctic Circle are melting, the sea levels are rising, the islands get submerged. Then you today you're talking about El Nino effect, season change, climate change. Who's responsible for it? The industry. So will you talk only about the profit and not about the other stakeholders? How exactly do you get? See, you say profit. Okay? You'll all have done ratio analysis. You've done a few ratios. Let us say you calculate what is called as ROI, or you talk about ROCE, which is return on investment. Whatever I've invested, what is the return I'm getting? And you take your decisions based on what is known as the cost versus benefit analysis. If the cost is more than the benefit, abandon that idea. If the benefit is more than the cost, go ahead with the idea. That is what you do when it comes to the return on investment. You know which company has given the formula when ROC is return on capital employed? Which company has given the formula for ROI? Everybody has got an idea. If you studied R.P. Trivedi, Pankaj Trivedi, you won't tell me. But if you have studied Uttarada Swami, S.N. Maheshwari, J.N. Narang, then you will tell. It is very clear. Whether you come from Middle Class or any other college, they follow Pankaj Trivedi. Yes or no? That is the curse. That's not the book that is to be studied. That is not only numerical, financial theory. When I took only one college, and there are a lot of other colleges. You don't know which company has given the formula? The company is to do with DuPont. Let's check it out. There's a chemical company there. Till today they celebrate what is called as, for the first time out of nylon, they developed socks. We call it stockings. The longer socks is called stocking. DuPont. So is it okay? I'll give you another example. Which company was that? The same DuPont company, they were given an opportunity. Will you come into the photography business? In which company like Fuji, Konica, and what is the other name? Kodak. These companies are very famous. So they did their calculations. And this company which is there, DuPont, wherever they invest their money, they expect a 20% return. If I put 100, I should get 120. If I put 1,000, I should get 1,200. If I put 10,000, I should get 1,200. 1 lakh. Close on that. And as per their calculations, they found that they are not getting 20%. Then they said, we are not going to go to that. And they lost an opportunity. Something which was taken over by Kodak. And Kodak had a problem because the digital photography had come into existence. So today your mobile phone is a better camera than actually working with a DSLR camera or anything like that. The best of cameras are coming to your mobile phone today. So they lost the market. And they didn't go for digitalization. They still continued selling rolls, which does not have demand, and they have to shut down their operation. It talks about if you don't manage change, you'll become a Jurassic Park animal. I'm also hinting at you. If you don't manage change, we all will become Jurassic Park animals. Go to Birla Planetarium. There's a huge dinosaur bone which is put up there. And they've excavated it at Karimnagar. And that is put up as show there. They couldn't survive, right? The changing circumstances, they didn't get what they want. So they become extinct. So when we don't change with the changing circumstances, we become extinct. If I don't use AI, if I don't use the machine language and other things there, I will become extinct. Similar way, I'm telling you also. Now, if you're not going about with learning data analytics, if you're not learning what is called advanced Excel, if you're not learning the software packages like R2, Python, I'm giving you a clue and see who's going to take up that as a book course and learn it. And if you're doing these, it adds a lot of value to your CV. Let me come back again with it. So you're calling it as profit, but what percentage of profit? How much profit is enough? 80%, 90%, 100%? You put 100, you expect 100 back? Is there any business which gives you like that? And profit is always a trade-off between two conditions. What are the two conditions? Profit is said to be a trade-off between two conditions. The conditions are risk and return. Now we always say, greater the risk you take, greater is the reward you take. Lesser the risk you take, less is the reward you take. Are you willing to take risk? And you put your money in stock market, you don't know that you will get windfall profit or whatever you invested also could become worthless papers. The same thing you put it in a post office in a bank that has got the least risk. The money remains same. But the return that they give doesn't even beat inflation. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't beat inflation. So how do you go about with working out how much risk you should take and how much return you should expect? You said profit, but somebody has got an idea how much profit you should get. You read the papers. Yesterday I was casually reading the papers there, and it said ICICI Bank had made some big profits. Infosys quarter, they made some big profits. And they compare year upon year, quarter upon quarter, half yearly results of last year, how we went to half yearly results. How much software we sold, how much profit we made. And again, this word profit has got a different connotation. How you understand it in economics and how you understand it in accounting. Now, this profit word, you study this in economics also. There is something called as an accounting profit. There is something called as an
economic profit.
I want somebody to tell me what is the difference between these two. You study this in managerial economics. And there is one question which will surely come in managerial economics in the exam from this. I've taught a few years managerial economics. That is the reason I'm able to tell you. Sure, you're going to get a question. They give you the same numbers and they ask you to find out what is accounting profit and what is economic profit. In accounting profit, with whatever revenue you get, you deduct only the explicit costs. But here what you do is out of the total revenue, you deduct the explicit as well as the
implicit cost.
Now my question, tell me what is explicit and what is implicit.
Explicit cost is outside cost. Implicit cost is outside.
Be more specific. Thank you so much. Nice interpretation. Good.
For
Your name
example,
again?
we can
Rahul. Go
in,
into details.
in explicit cost we are having the wages
Ah,
and those all expenses,
right.
and implicit cost is the opportunity cost.
Wonderful answer. I don't know if anybody else has thought about it. Your name again?
Harati.
Yeah?
Harati.
Aarti.
Harati. Yes.
I don't know if everybody heard what Aarti has said. She has used a word which is called opportunity cost. And in Telugu, you tell it avakasha vyayam. The cost of the next best alternative, which is foregone. You lost an opportunity. I had 1 lakh rupees with me. I keep it as cash in my almara or safe. After 1 year, quantity wise, that 1 lakh will be 1 lakh. If anything has gone wrong, two things. One is the purchasing ability of a rupee has come down because of inflation. The same money, if I had invested in a bank, I'd have earned interest for 1 year. I lost that opportunity. How does that matter in business? Let us say Rahul is there. He goes for a startup and starts his own business. Okay? And he's a conservative person when it comes to financial decision. So he invests his own money into business and doesn't borrow. He runs it with capital and no liability. Second, he can run the business from somebody else's premise or a building by taking on rent. But no, he runs the business from his own house so that he can save the rent. Third, with his qualification and knowledge, he could have got a job somewhere in Deloitte, Google, or whatever multinational company. He could have easily earned 1 lakh rupees per month. He foregone that opportunity and he's investing his efforts in his own business. So, what will economic implicit cost will include? The amount of rent if he had to pay for the same premise what he's using for business, the rent for. He's using his own money for business. If the same money is invested somewhere, what would be the return he could have got? Third, if he worked for somebody, he would have got salary. He's sacrificing that and he's doing it the business. Now these three things become implicit cost. If somebody has heard me, I think that numerical in financial economics is very easy. It's the same example every time. Nothing different. So don't forget, if you look very carefully, these are the terms that we say. How do you get TR? It is P into Q. The price multiplied with quantity.
Quantity.
Then how do you get TC? It is PFC plus TBC. That is your total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Right? And the point at which your TC is equal to TR, it's your break even. You get that? And always remember, the economic profit is lesser than the accounting profit. Because in accounting profit, you are not taking this component at all, which is the implicit cost. You take, she used that word, wages. He used the word internal external. That is the reason I said be more specific. You pay for material, you pay for carriage in, carriage out, you pay for selling and distribution, office expenses, all those out of pocket expenses. You have a bill, you have a receipt, you have a voucher, you have a business document with which you recognize a transaction has happened. Audit people also will check. Okay, if you're given rent, show me the rent slips. If you have to pay your own salary, then show that. If you invested your own money and not from a bank, you're taking a loan. How can you show the bills for that? You know what chartered accounting people do? They do the audit. And how do they do the audit? Based on the bills, based on the receipts, based on the vouchers, which are called business documents. So there is no bill or voucher for implicit cost. So I don't consider it as a cost at all. Because it's not a cost. If it's not a cost, it can't be deducted from the expense, from the revenue. The accounting profit is much bigger. First thing I said is the word profit is vague. Try to understand it. What do you mean by vague? It's not clear. It is hazy. What do you mean by the word profit? I mean, how much number will you get from 0 to 100? Any business you take, should you get 20%, 30%, 40%? Can you have a number for that? No. The word profit doesn't take into consideration what is called as the risk and return part of it. And profit has got different meaning when it comes to economics and accounting. And the word profit means good for some people and bad for many people. I don't know, I used to travel a lot by train when I was a student doing my masters at Mahbub Nagar. Now you cross this Shivrampalli, you get a stench. Very bad order. The order is because there is a Hyderabad bottling company which makes Coca-Cola, and all the industrial effluents are released in that lake there, and it has got zero visibility. The chemicals got settled in that water, and in and around that area, if anyone is digging groundwater also, the same kind of dirty water is coming. And that area has become arid, that is, it's not suitable for cultivation. Now, by drinking Coke, you are happy. In India, we don't drink Coke and Pepsi so much the way people consume in America. America, the per capita consumption is very high. They don't drink water, they just keep drinking Coke. And for us, Coke is something like a party drink. If there is a celebration, there is a party, you have a Coke. Cool drink. You want to go about with entertaining the guest, give them cool drink. You don't consume it every day. When there is peak summer, 46 degrees, you want to take a break, and still people consume tea or coffee with you. They don't take Coke and Pepsi. You have a different one. No matter how much effort they are trying to push to sell, it is not still penetrating. So you are happy drinking that. The workers in that company are getting good profit. The company is getting enough money sending it to Atlanta. And these people sponsor, I mean, in our country we look at it differently, but there also there is high level, who's sponsoring Trump, or who's sponsoring the lady who's there, what's her name? Kamala Harris, half Indian, half Jamaican.
Yes.
Who's sponsoring them? Huge stadiums they take. Where is all the money coming from? It is coming from corporate. Where are corporate people giving their money? If they get elected, they got to take decisions in their favor. Quid pro quo. Very good word. Business law or something?
Business.
Business law. Still based on that, you're telling I'm not. You know what is quid pro quo?
Something in between.
I would put it this way in a very bad way. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. I don't know if you understood. I feel itchy on my back, somebody comes and scratch mine. And when you feel itchy, call me, I'll scratch yours. Do something in return. I mean, you got to know what is parallel economy, what is black money. Long ago, somebody told me that India and Japan, more or less got independence at the same time. They were devastated with the bomb blasts that atomic bombs that have been at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They were also in a very bad shape. But if they have gone to a level of being recognized as a developed country, and we still, quite of 75 years, still call us as a developing country, there are a few reasons. And one of the reasons is there is nexus between four groups. I don't know, you have an Indian and foreigners also there. By the way, you're coming from first time from my class? What's your name? From where? No, I think I just got one or two more people there. You were not there in my class. What? There is something where you find that there is a politician, there is a bureaucrat, okay? There is a corporate, and there is underworld. In India, we make so many movies and a title called Dawn. I don't know if you watched that movie. These people are very good at extortions, killing, running a parallel economy. They have a huge treasure trove of black money. What is black money? Something which is not accounted. Now, after this class, that class, I go to some college to do it. They go about with giving me some honor over my side. They ask for my PAN card. They deduct 10% and they give me. Correct? And I come under to 30% tax. So 26A on filing my return. It will show throughout the year where all I got extra. Every year they did TDS 10%. Now they'll make me to pay 20% because I'm under 30%. There are times people ask me, do you want cash or do you want check? Or an online payment? Believe me, if you say the word cash, you are rudimenting the tax authority. It is unaccounted. Somebody gives the point. If you are doing an online payment or an online transfer, still it has got a proof. You made somewhere payment. What is the proof? You take a screenshot and show it. Yes, no. It's a proof that you made the payment. Earlier, people are fooling these vendors and different centers. Now you have come out with a voice tender. How much you have paid, the voice will tell. So what I'm trying to tell is this underworld. You heard about big names like Ibrahim Dawood and all that names. They all come under. A new apartment is coming, you say 4 apartments money in my way. You don't give us, you will bump out the builders. What a fear they give. He's got a very big net. Not just him, there are many people. You only take his name to gain vulnerability there. There are many people with that. And these people, for a very long time, now you get a lot of educated people. But in the past, the guy knows how to come to power. Who's responsible in these elections? Why? Because if you get elected, take decisions which are unnatural. This guy is a brainy guy. IAS, IPS, IFRS, and all the great. They are actually the backbone of the government. The face of the government is the politics. The brain behind the government is good. But if you take decisions which are in my favor, you get plum post. You speak against me, throw you somewhere which is not related to me. What are you doing? Best example I can do is this person. Medical officer turned IAS and he quit and started a political party. You got an idea? Not BSP, that is very good. I'm talking about that. He's not a medical doctor. He comes in a lot of television chats and all that. No? Time comes, I have interacted. When time comes, I tell you what these people, the medical doctors took third rank. He suspended a subordinate. A politician gives a letter to suspend the suspension order. And he said very clearly, either I stay or that person will stay. He said the choice is yours. keep it knowledgeable person. I'm not going to bow down to the politician. You got it. This is something out of the class. This is something you're not going to quote on the exam. If something has ruled the country, it is an exchange between these two. And who has suffered the maximum is the citizen. Movies, one star, they charge 100 crores. For whether money, can you imagine 100 crores? Or we think about 1 crore, it takes how much time will it take to learn? They got 100 lakhs in it. 1 crore. I want to talk about 100 crores. Where does the money come from? The producer has got a printing press or keeps on printing currency. No, where does it come from? It is the underworld that sponsors the movies. And they have a method where they convert the black money into white. And a lot of money is chasing too few goods. So the result will be inflation. Whatever methods RBI goes about outside. What do you mean by fiscal policy? What do you mean by monetary policy? Simple question I ask you. What is fiscal? What is monetary? Oh my God. You didn't study anything about banking in your degree?
Monetary means worth of money.
What ma?
Monetary
Monetary is
means
to do with money. What do they do? How do they control the flow of money? What is SLR? Statutory liquidation. What is CRR? Cash reserve ratio. Then what is repo rate? I'm getting chorus answers. If you are clear, tell me one at a time. What is the repo rate? What is the reverse repo rate? I'm not posing I have knowledge with you. I'm only telling you I didn't forget my basics. And you have read recently, you are not my age, but you have forgotten the basics. What is repo rate? The rate at which RBI lends to the banks, what is that? And the rate at which banks lend to RBI, what is that?
reverse repo.
You are telling it now. You know what RBI does? There is surplus money with the bank. It says you deposit that with RBI. If they do that, what happens? The banks have less money. If banks have less money, interest rates go up. If interest rates go up, less borrowers, less industrialization, less construction, less employment, less flow of money. People have less money, cost of things come down, inflation comes down. They said, no, you can keep extra balance with you. More money with the bank. More loans, cheaper loans, less interest. More people take money. More jobs are created. More money to spend. Inflation. Write down the word. This is economics, but I want you to work on that. What is called Phillips curve? Phillips. Phillips curve. Anyone has got an idea what I'm talking about? What is Phillips curve? As an economic concept, it says if you are trying to attack inflation, unemployment will go. If you are trying to attack unemployment, inflation will go. Both are bad for the society. If there is unemployment, then people start killing one another, robbing one another, dacoities. Peace will not be there in the society. A lot of people go wrong. If inflation is there, poor man will not be able to buy. Because the purchasing ability of money is coming down. You didn't answer that question. So what about measures are taken by RBI to see that the value of money is kept proper in the society? Money-wise, it's called monetary. Now, whatever government spends, or how does it do the taxation? These two things come under fiscal policy. FISCA. Fiscal. Don't forget those basics. Okay, very quickly, I want you to write a note. I've already explained you. Oh, you can put a star mark and put it somewhere in your book. Profit maximization is still wealth maximization. Maybe I give you a note also in the group. Maybe by afternoon I'll also put what are all the sources of finance, what I collected as a note and share it with you. That also you will take care of it. And I went in depth talking to you about what is time value of money, what is discounting, what is compounding. I told you what is future value, present value. I told you what like NPV, NVR. All these things I spoke to you. Right? We'll go one by one. First, I want you to write down why wealth maximization is not a good concept. First one, I beg your pardon. I told the wrong thing now. Why profit maximization is not the right thing. Wealth maximization is right and not profit maximization. Right on the first one. The term profit is vague. The term profit is vague. It it does not clarify. It does not clarify what exactly it means. What exactly it means. Second one, profit maximization has to be attempted. Profit maximization has to be attempted with a realization of risks involved. Profit maximization has to be attempted with a realization of risks involved. Next one, profit maximization as an objective. Profit maximization as an objective does not take into account the time pattern of returns. The time pattern of returns. Okay. Then, profit maximization as an objective is too narrow as profit maximization when done at the cost of social and moral obligations. Social and moral obligations is a short-sighted policy. Now then write down why wealth maximization. First one, achieving a higher growth rate. Achieving a higher growth rate. Next one, attaining a larger market share. Attaining a larger market share. Then third one, gaining leadership in the markets. Gaining leadership in the markets in terms of products and technology. In terms of products and technology. Next, promoting employee welfare. Promoting employee welfare. Then increasing customer satisfaction. Improving community life, improving community life, supporting education and research, supporting education and research, solving societal problems. See, if you have taken that points, what I said a little while ago, I said one point which is there, which is to do with the third one, what I dictated earlier.
Problems.
Profit maximization does not take into account the time pattern of returns. Are you looking for long-term returns? Are you looking for short-term returns? Are you looking for a uniform pattern of return? Are you looking for irregular pattern of return? That also matters a lot. Suppose you are looking for only short-term and you ignore the long-term, maybe you are losing a lot of business. You get that? See, we are also talking about what is called as ethics. There was one paper which in the past I used to go to the mechanical engineering department at engineering college and teach. The paper was called Ethics and Corporate Governance, Professional Ethics and Corporate Governance. As a student, I was not taught. I still remember my teacher giving me this example. We all know who wrote Arthashastra. That is where people spoke about politics, economics, accounting, and all of that. Kautilya has written. Okay? And in that, there is an incident. A stranger comes to meet Kautilya. There is a lamp which is glowing. When the stranger comes in, Kautilya puts out that lamp, lights another lamp. Those days there was no electricity, so you had oil and a wick. The stranger didn't understand why Kautilya behaved in a strange way. See, normally you light another lamp when the existing lamp is depleted of oil or something went wrong with the wick. So that time you put it off. It was all good with that lamp. Then why did he put it off? Kept on asking Kautilya. Kautilya said, look, the other lamp before you came, I was doing the kingdom job. It's sponsored out of the king's money. You came on a personal visit, private visit. The other lamp is sponsored out of my salary. How can I use the king's lamp for a personal work? See, this marker I am not purchased. Chalks I get a box, I get papers for printing. I tell Durga, my toner is over, my printer is filled. Drinking water, they get it in a bubble top. If it is not there, they give me mineral water. Can I take this mineral water bottle with me? My daughter needs some white sheets. I have a printer at home also. Papers are over in that printer. Can I take the office stationery board? When I was studying in school, this is what happened. We used to get this dot matrix printer stationery. Friend used to give it to me. Very good to do maths problem. You have rough column, fair column, big paper. One paper I can do 8-9 problems. I asked him, can I get some more papers? Right? After some more, I'm done. He is not taking it. So we give it. And I asked him, where do you get from? My daddy works in reservation complex in railways. Those papers are meant for printing tickets. And the kids are using it for doing maths at home. I have given you a very simple example of what is ethics. I don't know if you understood the sole purpose. Irrespective of your religion, You're being taught on being ethical. If I can unscramble my word of my profession, I'm into teaching. I can make another word out of it, which is cheating. I worked for 8 years in Badruga, 2 years in Ethiopia, and 17 years here, 27 years. But for university records, I'm only 17-year-old teacher and not 27. They didn't count my past experience in Badruga and in Ethiopia. Some reason. Somebody said, why don't you give fake certificate? I said, if I should do that, why should I come into teaching? Long ago, I would have become a professor if I got fake certificates. Not fake also. People will give signature, stamp, everything. Tell that I got scale and all that in those colors. That's wrong. In Hindi, sometimes you hear people telling, he अगर सीधी उंगली से ना निकले टेढ़ी उंगली. You know what does that mean? You put a straight finger into a wheat grass. It only stick here, not dot will come. You put a crooked finger, dot will come out. That is unethical. Today I read a paper. What is that? A lady died and 50 people are admitted in hospital. Well, it scares me. I really like eating that. It's called momo.
Yes.
It's a North Indian delicacy. It is steamed or fried. Something went wrong with the chutney and with the stuffing. Banjara Hills, outside somebody was selling momos every. All the papers are reported. Every morning I read 4 to 5 papers just to see where all university news have come and make clippings of it to send it to VC and all. And today I read that news in all papers. The other day to the place where I stay, there is a bakery, they raided it and he is using all expired products. Tell them why he can't face competition and he has to keep the prices low, so he's using expired products. Recently they caught hold of one chicken vendor, he's supplying chicken to all the you know restaurants, hotels, bars. He's buying it at Bombay and he's getting it here, putting in cold storage. It is spoiled one. So when it comes to a bar there, you put some extra bit of chili, masala and all. Don't let the stink of the chicken come out there. And people are eating spoiled chicken. That is unethical. Ethics matters a lot. It is not short run. Short run is a Telugu there is a saying, Dotte Donga Lekunde Dora. You get caught, you're a thief. You don't get caught, you're a thief. I can go on and on talking about this ethics too. There is no end to it. Another thing, what is developing today is a lot of people are doing research in an area where we are calling it as the concept of ESG. Anyone will tell me as a student you should be able to understand and do. You signed yesterday also while I was leaving you. Right? Yeah. What is ESG anyone? E stands for environment. G stands for corporate governance, and S stands for society. We are coming out with new norms. Your company, what is it doing in terms of economy, in terms of environment? You have a bank. Entire bank is centrally AC, centralized AC. Yeah, inside it is very cool. What you're doing is to keep the room cool. You're drawing all the heat and leaving in the environment. Why not we construct? No, this is something very beautiful, but I would have expected the building to be in this direction. We talk about cross ventilation, which must be east to west. Cross ventilation is there. 2 doors, 2 windows. Wonderful, 2 fans. You don't find it hard. Today we're talking about green banking, green bonds. You're trying to reduce the carbon emission, carbon footprint. Look at those words. I want you to get to know more, learn more about that word. What is carbon footprint? What is carbon emission? What is India doing? By 2030, it has come out with a norm telling that we want to reduce industrial wastage, sludge, come down with carbon thing, reduce one-time plastic usage. A lot of those things are coming out. What are you doing to the society? At one point of time, you said you should do charity, but now you say that no, you got to give money, 3% out of your profit. What do you call that? CSR, corporate social
Responsibility.
responsibility. Yesterday, we had this Telangana Council for Higher Education person, Balakrishna Reddy, recently is appointed. He was from NALSA. He said it is only for companies. No? Earlier it was voluntary, then later it was made into a law. You must mandate it. You must give 3%. Tomorrow the day is not far away where we will be asked what is institutional social responsibility, individual social responsibility, academic social responsibility. I am paid a huge salary for taking only 2 classes in a day. Huge salary. Yes. Am I doing the job correctly? I have to question myself. And how am I responsible to the society? If I produce people who are irresponsible citizens, you get that? So ESG is coming in. So look at that fourth point that you wrote, where you said about, the last point somewhere is wealth maximization. Why wealth maximization? You want a better life for people. If I breathe pollutant air, who would have imagined what happened in that 1987 December month, when 23rd or something it was, when you said Bhopal gas leak, methyl isocyanide comes out, and then the sweet people die. They don't like that. I want healthy people, not people who have inhaled what is called as environmental pollution. So I look for profit and I'm not looking at the other stakeholders. That is the wrong concept. I made you write a few points and I'll still give a note that is just to tell you that this is a compulsory question which usually comes as theory. Wealth maximization versus profit management. So make sure that you prepare for that and prepare for different sources of finance. Anyone has got the syllabus copy with you right now? You don't have the syllabus copy? Then do one thing. Go to usmania.ac.in. And there you get the campus colleges as one icon. Click on University College of Commerce and Business Management. Go to Department of Commerce. You get syllabus. So just check what is MCOM, what is MCOM IS, BCom, BCom Computer. You look for only MCOM, not MCOM IS. So there you can download and keep it in your phone. So all the 4 semesters, whatever the syllabus is available, you have it with you. Then you open finance and read what are the contents of the course. FM is in person. Yeah. First is accounting, second is managerial economics. Did you get it? Yeah, you no. Not able to open. Someone who could open the syllabus? Go ahead, read it loudly.
Introduction to Financial Management Unit 1. Financial Management meaning, evolution, organization of finance functions, financial decisions, goals of financial management, agency problem, changing role of finance manager.
That's all. That's the first page.
B. Time value of money, meaning ratio of time preference for money, future value, present value, including profits.
I didn't do the problems, but I think we will take up that part. Okay? And she has said, thank you so much for your name.
Elshi. El-Shifa.
Okay. Now the thing is, he's saying something about the agency problem. So tomorrow when I come, I would talk a bit about that. There are one or two small things that are left. And how is the function of finance changing? Evolution part, I'll just go over it giving a small brief. And with that, we would have done the few numericals here and there, and it would have, right? So remember the sources of finance, other things. What is the role of a controller of finance and business, and all those things. That's key. Tomorrow I'll get, right? If you're done with the signatures, can I get the sheet here? Still signing. Finish it in here.